my son's friend came to visit. The experience was unforgettable. We invite you to embrace the moment by liking the video, sharing your reflections in the comments, and subscribing to journey with us through our latest tales. It was a languid Tuesday afternoon, the sort where the house seems to pause, as if savoring a moment of stillness. As I completed the final folds of laundry, a gentle thought of indulging in a second cup of coffee danced in my mind, only to be interrupted by the soft chime of the doorbell. Surprise lingered in the air as I realized I was not alone. I brushed my hands against the soft kitchen towel, a mix of intrigue and mild irritation swirling within me. My home, since my son departed, has settled into a gentle, solitary cadence. These days, visitors were a rare occurrence, and surprises felt even more elusive. I opened the door, and for a fleeting moment, time stood still. There he stood, radiating that effortless, warm smile, his eyes still glimmering with a youthful allure. Chris, my son's closest companion from childhood. "Hey, Mrs. Whitman," he said, a playful smile dancing at the edges of his lips. As I cruised through the neighborhood, a gentle impulse urged me to pause and explore. "I hope this moment finds you well. Balanced." It had been more than a decade since our paths last crossed. The last time he lingered at my kitchen table, he was an awkward teenager with tousled hair and a backpack brimming with video games. Now he stood with a commanding presence, his once delicate form now robust with the passage of time and self-assurance, and that voice, resonant and warm, still carried the delightful hint of mischief I recalled so fondly. Balanced. Oh, how delightful. I inhaled sharply, drawing the door open further. Step inside, step inside. Gaze upon you. You've transformed in ways that resonate deeply. Our embrace lingered for a moment, a soft connection that spoke volumes. With a gentle warmth and a courteous demeanor, he entered, his eyes wandering with a blend of fond memories and intrigue. The house remained much the same. Familiar pieces of furniture linger in the room. The same images grace the wall. Now, the silence enveloped the space, untouched by the lively patter of youthful footsteps or the familiar buzz of gaming sounds. "It feels like an eternity," I murmured, inviting him to take a seat beside me. "How have you been feeling? How is your family doing? What draws you to this place once more?" He offered a warm smile while perched at the edge of the couch. "Primarily focused on my professional endeavors. Tomorrow, I have a meeting in the heart of the city. I wanted to take a moment to wander through cherished memories before the whirlwind begins." I brewed a rich cup of coffee, infused with a whisper of cinnamon, reminiscent of the moments when the boys filled the space with their laughter. We lingered at the kitchen table, the very spot where laughter and whispers once filled the air, where they would immerse themselves in homework, or perhaps just feign concentration. He shared with me the essence of his life in Seattle, the passion behind his work in architecture, and the adventures that have taken him far and wide. I listened, captivated, experiencing a curious blend of pride and an elusive sensation, perhaps a longing. A deep yearning. Amidst the warmth of the second cup and the gentle laughter over his clumsy attempt to juggle oranges, I found myself lost in a moment, captivated by the way he smiled. He had transformed from that clumsy boy with scraped knees and an endearing, lopsided grin. He had transformed into a man, exuding a sense of calm, deep contemplation, and an undeniable allure. It took me by surprise. "Do you still recall that lamp?" He let out a soft laugh, his fingers brushing against the nape of his neck. "I feared you might cast me out from the warmth of your home after that moment." "I ought to have," I murmured, a playful smile dancing on my lips. "Yet, you possessed an enchanting ability to navigate through challenges effortlessly." Our eyes met in understanding, a quiet moment shared. His gaze lingered on mine for a moment that felt like an eternity, and warmth spread across my cheeks. I averted my eyes, finding solace in the simple task of arranging the cups. "Will you be here in town this evening?" In truth, I still find myself pondering that mystery. I was contemplating reserving a hotel room after dinner. "Don't be absurd," I replied, my words tumbling out with an urgency I couldn't quite contain. "You're welcome to remain here. The guest room is prepared, and here I am, wandering through this spacious, timeless home all alone." He paused, a fleeting moment of uncertainty passing through him. If that's truly what you desire, I wouldn't want to intrude. You bring a gentle presence. Having someone close would bring a warmth that's hard to describe. As I prepared dinner, he stayed close in the kitchen, his presence a gentle invitation to share the moment. We glided around each other with a fluidity that took me by surprise. The kind that emerges from the depths of history, from cherished moments nestled in the shadows of every space. We shared a meal at the dining table, the gentle notes of jazz weaving through the air around us. The dialogue unfolded with a natural ease. We shared memories, laughter, and gradually, almost without realizing it, found ourselves navigating profound depths, discussing the absence of those we cherished, the weight of unfulfilled dreams, and the bittersweet sensation of aging, as if the most beautiful moments had quietly faded away. I never shared this with you, he murmured, his gaze drifting to his plate, but you have always been a sort of inspiration for me. I gazed at him, taken aback. Your presence enveloped me in warmth and strength. Your presence has transformed this house into a true sanctuary. Something within me stirred, a complex mix of emotions that left me uncertain. Was it gratitude, guilt, or perhaps a delicate whisper of a feeling I thought I had long forgotten? Thank you, I murmured gently. It carries a depth of meaning that goes beyond words. The night unfolded gently. The clock inched past 11, and our conversation lingered, legs tucked beneath us on the couch, wine glasses cradled in our hands, the distance between us gradually diminishing. And then a moment lingered in the air. A gentle, profound stillness. He gazed at me, his eyes filled with warmth. May I pose a question to you? I nodded, a flutter of anticipation stirring within me, uncertain of what would unfold next. Have you ever sensed that something beautiful slipped through your fingers? A little something meant only for you? My eyes fluttered, momentarily taken aback. In every moment, I softly murmured. Yet, life often unfolds in ways we least expect, doesn't it? He nodded, his eyes lingering on mine with an intensity that stirred something deep within. Perhaps on occasion. Indeed, it does. The atmosphere became charged with a deep feeling, an unarticulated connection that lingered in the air. A gentle tug. An enticing prospect. And in that moment, I felt a profound change within me. A line blurred not through speech or caress, but through a gaze that lingers. A truth that binds us together. A call to awaken emotions once more. An unforeseen moment. A profound essence of humanity. That night, slumber eluded me, weaving through my thoughts like a gentle whisper. I reclined in bed, gazing at the ceiling, my mind swirling with emotions that had long been dormant. The house was quiet, yet the stillness had lost its comforting embrace. It felt electric, like the atmosphere just before a summer storm. Even lingered in the guest room just across the hallway. The very space where my mother once found her solace. The very bed where my son's friends would gather, sharing laughter and stories after their long nights of gaming. Yet, in that moment, the essence in the room transcended the innocence of youth. He was a man. And for reasons I had yet to unravel, that held significance. I attempted to convince myself it was insignificant. Just a familiar soul returning for a moment. Simply reconnecting. Yet, beneath the surface, I sensed a shift had occurred this evening. A gaze. A query. An unexpected connection forged through our shared vulnerability. The following morning, I prepared breakfast, a ritual that felt both familiar and comforting. Softly scrambled eggs, warm toast, and a comforting cup of coffee. Yet I took my time, fully attuned to every sensation around me. The gentle creak of the floorboards, the soft slant of light filtering through the curtains, the quiet hum of the refrigerator created an intimate atmosphere. Everything seemed to come alive with a deeper intensity. He descended, clad in a simple gray t-shirt and comfortable sweatpants. With bare feet and tousled hair from slumber, he exudes a quiet charm. There was an undeniable charm in witnessing him in that moment. At ease, open-hearted. Intimately known, yet refreshingly different. Good morning, he murmured, a soft smile gracing his lips. A delightful aroma fills the air. Good morning, I responded, glancing back at the stove. Eggs reminiscent of the delicate beauty of nature. Only if they come with a warm cup of cinnamon coffee beside them, he playfully suggested. I chuckled gently. Oh, how fortunate you are. We shared a quiet meal together, the gentle clink of our forks against the plates creating a soft rhythm in the space between us. Yet, the stillness held a certain warmth. The silence enveloped them, a gentle space where trust and comfort intertwined, creating an unspoken bond that only they could understand. After breakfast, we found ourselves nestled on the back porch. The garden was alive with vibrant blooms this year, a tender embrace of color and fragrance that stirred the senses. Tulips and daffodils swayed softly in the spring breeze, while the trees began to don their vibrant green once more. He reclined in the chair, savoring his coffee, his gaze drifting over the yard. Do you still nurture the garden? With each passing year, I found myself in agreement. It feels like a journey of the heart, perhaps. It's enchanting, serene. We lingered in that moment, enveloped in silence, simply being together. And it felt delightful, unusual yet comforting, to have someone beside me, to share this quiet moment of mourning without the need for words. He spoke softly, a hint of nostalgia in his voice. I almost got married a few years ago. I glanced over at him. Is that so? Indeed. She was called Marissa. Our time together spanned 3 beautiful years. It concluded softly. There were no grand confrontations, just a gentle understanding that our desires were not aligned. A moment lingered in the air. I lingered in anticipation. Somewhere within me, I sensed that I wasn't fully present in the way I needed to be. A sense of longing lingered in the air. Not from her, but from within me. I nodded gently, letting his words wash over me. At times, we remain unaware of our own longings until another soul gently mirrors them for us. He gazed at me then, truly gazed, and I sensed it once more, that magnetic pull. Beyond mere attraction lies a profound connection, a depth of understanding, and a sense of recognition. You've transformed, he murmured softly. In what way? Your presence feels more gentle, serene, yet undeniably powerful, as if you found harmony within yourself. I found myself reflecting on that. Perhaps I have discovered my true self, or perhaps I have simply ceased to wear a mask that no longer fits. The gentle breeze stirred, caressing a lock of hair against my cheek. He reached out with a gentle touch, tucking it softly behind my ear. His fingers brushed softly, holding on for a heartbeat more than needed. My heart fluttered. I should take a stroll, I murmured, rising a touch too abruptly. Breathe in the fresh air. He rose as well. Would you mind if I joined you? We strolled closely together along the serene neighborhood lanes, where each porch whispered with wind chimes and every yard held a tale waiting to be discovered. As we strolled, our conversation flowed effortlessly, touching on a myriad of topics, both profound and trivial. Beloved stories, cherished moments, melodies that once stirred our hearts. The dialogue flowed effortlessly, weaving between moments of levity and depth, reminiscent of a cherished waltz. In time, we found ourselves at the serene lake on the outskirts of town. The atmosphere was serene, the water smooth as silk, mirroring the soft hues of the sky overhead. We lingered at the precipice, a shared silence enveloping us. He mentioned that he used to visit this place with your son. We'd toss stones into the water, sharing dreams of what our lives might hold as we grew older. And now you're here, I whispered gently, more mature. He turned to me, his gaze deep and enigmatic. And you remain here, still, you. I chuckled, the sound escaping my lips in a softer, more delicate way than I had meant. What does that signify? It suggests that perhaps, until this moment, I was unaware of the depth of your presence. That resonated deeply within me. A gentle flutter, soft and inviting. You were always the amazing mom, he said, but now you mean so much more to me. You are genuine and complete, and perhaps I've reached a point where I can truly value that. I found myself at a loss for words. The gentle breeze stirred, bringing forth the delicate fragrance of spring mingled with the essence of the lake. I gazed across the lake, allowing the tranquility of the moment to envelop me. As I glanced over my shoulder, I found his gaze lingering on me. As I started to speak, he softly interjected. I don't wish to create any confusion. I wanted to share with you the way I perceive you at this moment. And I hold no expectations. I simply sensed it. His sincerity captivated me. There was a gentle freedom, a serene absence of demands, only a warm embrace of possibilities. And something within me unfurled gently, like the first tender bud of a flower, unaware of its own blossoming. I caught your gaze as well, I murmured softly. We strolled back leisurely, our shoulders grazing softly from time to time. A change had enveloped us once more, and this time, we both embraced its presence. That night, we gathered by the fireplace, the gentle light casting a warm glow upon our faces. Our quiet moments spoke volumes, brimming with unspoken emotions and shared understanding. As the hour for rest approached, we found ourselves in the hallway, savoring the moment in that intimate space between two doors. Good night, he whispered gently. Sweet dreams, Ifin. He reached out, brushing my hand softly, a delicate connection. It was a fleeting presence, yet it remained, echoing softly even after he slipped away into the guest room. And I stood there, solitary in the hallway, my heart brimming with questions I was no longer hesitant to voice. For the first time in what feels like ages, I experienced a profound sense of vitality. The following morning, the house seemed to embrace a weighty stillness. Perhaps it was I who felt the weight of it all. Perhaps it was the subtle heaviness of realization, the understanding that an unspoken change had gently unfolded between us. I glided through the kitchen with a deliberate slowness, acutely aware of the lingering hush from the night before. The distance between Ifin's door and mine seemed both fleeting and expansive, a delicate tension in the air. I reassured myself not to delve too deeply into it. Yet, I did. He descended, clad in jeans and a button-down shirt, the sleeves casually rolled up, exuding a relaxed charm. He appeared relaxed yet striking, embodying a sense of self-assuredness that spoke volumes about his journey. Did you find rest in your dreams? I inquired, lifting my gaze from the sizzling pan. His smile was more enchanting than I had anticipated. We savored breakfast once more, as if it were a cherished ritual, as though it had been our way for ages. The conversation flowed gently, touching on his meeting that afternoon, the warmth of the weather, and the beauty of the garden. Yet beneath it all, there was an undeniable energy stirring, a new connection that neither of us dared to label just yet. As he gathered his belongings after breakfast, readying himself for his meeting in the city, a peculiar ache blossomed in my chest. It was something deeper, a connection that stirred the soul. Not yet, but it was an experience that lingered, and I found myself wishing it wouldn't end just yet. Will you return to me tonight? I inquired, wishing to keep my tone light and easygoing. He lingered for a moment, his gaze meeting mine. If the invitation remains open. Indeed, it does. Then I would be delighted to. And just like that, the day unfolded before me, whispering of possibilities yet to come. I spent the afternoon tidying up, not out of necessity, but to find solace in the movement of my hands. I refreshed the guest sheets and arranged the pillows with care, knowing he might not see the effort, before drifting outside to the garden. I pressed my fingers into the earth, nurturing a few vibrant herbs into their new home. The earth embraced me with its warmth, a gentle moisture that anchored my very being. Yet even in that serene embrace of whispering leaves and melodic birds, his essence lingered, as if it had woven itself into the very fabric of the home. As the sun started its gentle descent and the shadows stretched gracefully, I stepped inside, cleansing the earth from my hands, and slipped into something softer, something that felt more intimate. Myself. I reassured myself that it wasn't a date. I reassured myself that I was merely being courteous. Yet, within the depths of my heart, I understood more than I let on. Upon his arrival, he carried with him a bottle of dry red wine and a delicate bouquet of wildflowers, likely gathered during his journey. With a playful smile, he remarked, "For the hostess." I embraced them, filled with warmth. You really didn't need to. I yearned to. The dinner was unpretentious. Succulent roasted chicken, tender asparagus, and fluffy rice. Yet, there was an undeniable magic to it. Our words flowed effortlessly, weaving through the depths of connection, as we savored each moment more than the meal before us. As the wine dwindled, a serene hush enveloped the night. He assisted me with the dishes, his sleeves rolled up, hands glistening with water as laughter filled the air when he playfully splashed some onto my shirt. I playfully tossed a towel in his direction. His hand brushed mine, the connection brief but meaningful. The laughter gradually diminished, giving way to a soft, soothing silence. "May I pose a question to you?" He spoke, his voice a soft whisper. I gave a soft nod. "Have you ever contemplated the idea of a fresh beginning? Embracing the future, while turning the page to a fresh beginning?" I took a deep breath. The question touched a sensitive part of me. At times. Yet, the thought of beginning anew stirs a sense of trepidation. It feels as though the moment has slipped away from me. "I don't believe the window ever truly closes," he said, locking his eyes with mine. "We simply overlook its lingering presence." We stood there, our gazes entwined in the soft glow of the kitchen, as everything else melted away into the background. In that instant, I realized it was deeper than mere nostalgia, transcending the feeling of solitude. This was a reunion of two souls, discovering each other anew. He moved in closer. I chose to stay close. His hand rose, hesitantly at first, then with assurance, gliding softly over my cheek, tucking a stray lock of hair behind my ear. The same simple gesture as before, yet this time it held a deeper resonance. "I never intended for this to unfold," he murmured gently. "Yet, you linger in my thoughts, an irresistible presence that captivates my mind." I shut my eyes, allowing the moment to envelop me like a gentle, soothing rain. I've been attempting to suppress it, yet it lingers within me. The stillness spoke volumes. He hasn't pressed his lips to mine, not just yet. Instead, he took a small step back, creating a gentle distance, not from uncertainty, but from a place of deep respect. "I want to take my time with this," he said, "and I never want you to question whether it was merely a fleeting moment." I gave a gentle nod. "Neither do I." We transitioned to the room where warmth enveloped us, the fire softly crackling in the background. We sat side by side, the warmth of our closeness enveloping us, yet maintaining a delicate boundary that lingered in the air. And that line, slender and fragile, throbbed between us like a heartbeat. He extended his hand, softly placing it over mine. Not a gesture, not a declaration, just an intimate bond. We lingered in that moment, enveloped in silence, as the flickering glow of the fire painted soft shadows on the walls. In time, he rose to his feet. "I should turn in," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Okay," I responded, feeling a sudden dryness in my throat. He gazed at me one final time, his eyes conveying all the unsaid emotions that lingered between us, before he vanished down the corridor. I lingered in that moment, my hand still alive with the warmth of his touch, my heart brimming with emotions I hadn't experienced in ages. Not mere infatuation, nor a fleeting fantasy, but a deep and abiding hope. And for the first time in years, it felt safe to embrace it fully. I stirred awake in the quiet of dawn, the soft light of the sun still hidden behind the curtains. The house was quiet once more, yet this time, it carried a different kind of stillness. Not alone, just serene, at ease. I lingered at the edge of my bed, allowing my thoughts to swirl around me like a gentle breeze. The events of the last 2 days wrapped around me like a delicate whisper, soft and evocative, yet impossible to ignore. The warmth of his hand lingered on mine, and I could sense the intensity of his gaze, as if he saw me not merely as a memory, but as someone significant in the present moment. I descended the stairs, my bare feet meeting the coolness of the wooden floor, and began to prepare the coffee. I was taken aback to find Chris already at the kitchen table, absorbed in his phone. He wore that familiar soft gray t-shirt, and a gentle smile graced his lips, adding warmth to the morning light. "Good morning," I whispered softly. He lifted his gaze, and a warm smile spread across his face. "Good morning." There was a gentle ease between us, a serene intimacy that suggested we had ventured into uncharted territory, even if the words had yet to escape our lips. I offered him a steaming cup of coffee and took my place across from him, our eyes meeting in a moment that felt charged with unspoken connection. We savored the moment in quietude, allowing the warmth to envelop us deeply. "You know," he finally said, "I've been reflecting deeply on what happened last night. I confess, I felt the same way." He placed his cup gently on the table and leaned in a bit closer, his gaze filled with genuine warmth. "I truly meant every word I spoke. I seek something enduring, a connection that transcends the fleeting moments. I didn't return with expectations, yet now that this moment has arrived, I find myself unwilling to let it slip away." The part of me that had become accustomed to solitude, that had whispered to itself that the age of possibilities had slipped away, felt a strong urge to hold back. Yet the other part, the more serene and knowing aspect, gently acquiesced. "I can't quite define this feeling yet," I admitted, "and I'm not prepared to label it, but I sense its authenticity and uniqueness, and I have no desire to escape from it." His hand gently intertwined with mine once more, radiating a sense of quiet assurance. Time seemed to stand still, enveloped in a gentle awareness that a beautiful journey was unfolding between them. We lingered in the garden for the rest of the morning, savoring each moment as we strolled among the blooms. He gently assisted me in pruning the winter branches, his curiosity guiding him as he inquired about the flowers I had lovingly planted. We flowed together like familiar souls, two individuals exploring one another not as we once were, but as we had become in this moment. Later that afternoon, as he gathered his things to return to the city, there was no weight in the air, only a gentle warmth and the sweet anticipation of what was yet to come. "I long to return," he murmured, lingering at the threshold. "I hope you do," I said with a gentle smile. "I have visions for the garden, and I'll require someone with a bit of height to help me access the upper shelves." He let out a soft laugh, but then fell into a contemplative silence. "I'm truly grateful I arrived," he expressed. "So I am as well." He leaned in and kissed me softly, with a warmth that spoke of sincerity, as if he had no need to impress, only a desire to share, and I took a moment to embrace the warmth of his presence. As he drove away, I lingered by the window, captivated by the swirling dust that danced in the air, a fleeting reminder of his presence. Yet, I felt a warmth within, for I understood this was not the end. It marked the dawn of a fresh journey, one I never imagined I would embark upon. As I turned away from the window and back toward the kitchen, a warmth unfurled within me, a gentle joy of rediscovery, a realization that life still held the power to surprise, that love could still find its way to me, not with grand gestures or loud proclamations, but softly, unexpectedly, like a familiar knock on the door from someone I believed was lost to time. And at times, that is precisely what we crave the most.